I believe we're live. I believe we're live.
Hang on.
We have
Brandon Wynn, past general. Congratulations. Everything stops for newly upgraded hams, newly licensed hams. Welcome, Brandon Wynn. Congratulations.
Got fireworks. Here's some lasers. Very good, Brandon. That's awesome.
Now,
that is
what
awesome.
You were saying. That is not as important as Brandon passing his test.
I'm kind of like, well, hey, Brandon got his general, so I don't. Okay, we're done.
Yep, show's over.
You can't top that. Can't touch this. How are you, Steve? What's going on?
I'm doing great. Gendron here, always the troll.
We're gonna talk about it. Yeah, I gotta. Where did that window go? I had this set up to share, and I'm gonna share it in a minute, but there we go. I'm just gonna tease this real quick. There you go. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, it's on the menu, and I'm working on a video. I went to bed at 11 o'clock last night, still editing, and it's like, okay, I got to go to bed because I'm going to end up filming this thing backwards or something. So we're going to talk about that. Tio, what's going on that's not a Baofeng in your world?
It is freezing in Arizona. It is ridiculous. I was a little late to the show, and Jim gave me guff for it. What a friend. Because I had to plug the hose back in and turn the water back on so my wife would be happy. She's laughing in the background.
See, mine can't hear me, so I can talk smack back here, and she almost never goes and rewatches the show, so I'm safe as far as I know. She may be up there keeping a log. I don't know. She's never mentioned
it's freezing.
It. So.
And then the other thing is I've got look at all those dirty fingerprints. I've got a cell phone here that's got an antenna on it, so I need to play with that. It works fine, and there's a problem with WPSD, and it might be my problem. So I got to figure all that mess out too.
Well, so that's not an R finder, is it?
No.
And that's not the KV4P on an Android, is it?
No, but I mean, check out that. It's got two 10,000 milliamp hour batteries in it, 20,000 milliamp hours total. This thing will last for a week.
Oh,
this is like the most feature-rich Android 15 phone you can get.
She's a chunky monkey.
So I'm playing with that, learning all about it so I can share a video and actually sound coherent.
So my question to you, without giving anything away, is that a commercially available product or is that like a one-off dingus kind of thingy?
It is a easily commercially available product, and ham is not its target market, so that's why.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I'll drop a link in the chat here real quick.
Drop it like it's hot.
Because it is available.
There's a lot of cool stuff in ham space, but a lot of it just never becomes commercially viable or...
Well, you know why? Anytime you launch a product in ham space, there's about 5 out of the 5 billion people that are licensed. There's about 5 total people, and I can show you like one picture of one of them. He looks like Sheriff Buford T. Justice, who just craps all over it. And then the manufacturer goes, well, I guess I shouldn't have done that, and goes back in their hole, and innovation stifles for another 30 years.
Yeah. Well... Yeah. I mean, when you look at digital voice, that's an interesting market. Because I don't know about you guys, but I would love to have one radio to rule them all, right? Fusion, D-Star, DMR, by extension NXDN, P25 maybe, but it's never going to happen for multiple reasons. Number one, I can't imagine what kind of hardware you'd have to have all those lit up at the same time.
Well, be careful what you say. A certain representative from a very large Japanese manufacturer might get very angry with you and post on his personal Facebook about how wrong you are when you were actually right.
Yeah. Wait, I don't get paid by them. So...
No. Yeah.
Suck it,
you shouldn't know what they know.
Yeah.
Now, when you get paid by that certain Japanese company and you say false things publicly...
Yeah. So, I mean, that would be a cool thing, but it's never going to happen. You know, hell, we can't get them to put USB-C charging on everything. In 2026, in 2025, in 2024, and 23, I shouldn't be getting a product that charges with anything but USB-C, right? And there's still radios coming out with barrel connectors, or it uses a odd power, some kind of power brick with it. Some of you guys might have a D75. I don't know who does and who doesn't. But the D74, power brick and a desk charger. I think I can also plug it in via USB Mini or Micro on the side. I can't remember without grabbing it and looking at it. It's sitting back there. But,
Right.
I mean, USB-C has been around for a minute now,
Currently
you know?
unavailable. What?
Holy
What are you talking
holy
about,
moly,
Chris?
we have several things here. There's a quorum of ladies, I believe, because I've seen two.
Well, we need to define what a quorum actually is. We need to put this
More
in the
than one.
bylaws
I'm going to go
officially.
with more than one in this
More
show.
than one. Well, we've qualified with more than one. Yes.
One or more. Elodie is here, and I saw Sarah earlier. I haven't seen anybody else.
I've seen Elodie and Sarah.
Yeah. And Vince is in the chat. Holy
Not contributing to the quorum. Just to make
no,
sure
no,
there's no
Vince. That's
confusion.
a completely different topic. Good morning, Vincent. How are you, brother?
Good morning, Vince.
So,
Let me get you a
but I
different
mean-
link, Chris. It's available for me. It's just you.
there's some weird marketing dynamics in the whole thing. The USB-C thing is something we've both complained about multiple times. I mean, we are hams. It's part of our job is to complain, but you know, you're never going to get a radio that does them all. And the thing is about NXDN and DMR, P25, those three are all so close together that it would, I think, be fairly trivial to at least have a radio that would flip between modes. I doubt you could have
Hey,
all
morning,
three
Wes.
at the same time, but that would be some innovation. That would be some innovation.
Well, what's even
So-
funnier is there's an application you can get. I believe it's actually free flavored for Android that will talk on all of the modes without
Yeah.
any radio whatsoever. DroidStar?
Yeah, and I'm not an Android guy, but I
Shame.
played with it. I played with it several years ago on an older Android phone, like the wife's old Note 9 or something, and it worked okay. It's not a radio, you know, button better. It's an app on a phone, but it did work. So anyway, innovation. We need more
I
of
don't
it.
know how they're getting around the licensed codec issue. I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong. I'm saying I don't know. It's probably 100% legitimate.
I don't know that I even understand the codec thing. You're talking about the app, the DroidStar app?
The Ambi 2 chip
The
that requires a
Ambi-coder?
license, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
Well, that's part of. I don't know. I don't know.
Is that Mr. Monday?
That is
Robert?
Mr. Monday.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can afford it, unlike other Japanese radio companies that can't afford to license an HDMI connector.
Yeah, so I dropped 2 links in the chat for that phone. I'd grabbed the more affordable one, and people are saying that it was unavailable. So I dropped a second link to one that is more expensive, but maybe more available. It's apparently an Amazon distribution warehouse issue type thing.
Doc said he uses DroidStar, and it's great even on the iPhone. I didn't know it was on the iPhone. It's been that long since I played with it.
Well, Doc gets an excuse pass, a hall pass for this one.
And he was talking about codec on you to download with DroidStar.
Okay, so they
Oh.
push that off onto your shoulders. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
M17, right?
Right. And
Awesome, John. Thank you.
from our friend Brother John, your new budget, pass the plate. That's right. We need to add on a wing in the rectory. Rectory
came-
is the word.
right into church this morning, and then not the nunnery. Right into church this morning, sat in the front row and started sniping right away.
That's it. So what besides your phone dingus, what else have you got cooking?
Oh, I've been going crazy. Last week was like the week of things that would not video. I did three video projects last week, and before they were over, they all went sideways from the initial planned.
I
I
find
hate
that
to say
happens.
script, but script.
I find that happens a lot with me. I want to do a video on the thing, and then I'm starting the video on the thing, but then I need this, so then I have to go get that, and then I get that, but then it needs batteries, so I have to go get those, and it's like one snowball thing after another, and what should be 30 minutes of recording turns into like 3-hour marathon of screwing around with 14 things that are not directly related to the video. It's annoying.
Link dropped, LC. Well, that's how this phone here turned out. So now I have to. The problem that I have with this, I was talking to Jim about this off air. It will connect to my WPSD hotspot, but it won't stay connected. I can key up and do a simplex DMR contact all day
Right.
long, no problem. I can talk to Parrot on the hotspot, and this will receive that Parrot transmission 100%, no problem. So it's really a WPSD problem, and I'm not blaming Chip for this at all. It's my problem. I'm, you know me, I'm always pushing the limits, so I'm running WPSD on a Pi 0, period, which is not supposed to be allowed. And it works fine, except for this one edge case. So I'm going to upgrade to a Pi 0 2W, and I'm going to do a duplex hotspot. So that video got entirely scrapped, and now it's time to do, hey, here's what a duplex hotspot does. Let me prove what a duplex hotspot is and show you people who just can't take my word for it. And then even when I do the actual demo, people are like, that didn't work. Yeah, it did. And I showed you on a waterfall the two streams of... Anyway, I love comments. It makes me laugh.
Well, it is. It can be frustrating when someone comments on a video and says, you didn't do the thing. Well, yeah, I did. Did you actually watch the whole video?
I didn't finish watching before I summarized my judgment. My summary summarily judged you and then attacked you.
Very good. Yeah.
Trying to use big words. It's early in the morning.
That was a very cromulent use of those words.
I should put it in the Chiron.
See, Linodev already dropped cromulent this morning in the pre-show chat. And I was like, I think I know what that means. Yeah, okay, I was right. I do know what that means. So, yay me.
Better than corpusculent? Corpuscular? I don't know how to say that one. Never mind.
Corpulent?
I meant more like putrefaction of rotting corpses, but sure.
That would be putrescent.
Yes. The English language, where there's 600 words that no one can agree on the spelling of because it all comes from different languages and all mean the exact same thing.
Right.
Eschew obfuscation.
Eschew obfuscation? That is a cromulent use of eschew and obfuscation, truly.
You guys came for the vocabulary and you stayed for the ham radio.
Right. And there is corpulent. Yes, I think that was the word. Well, see, corpulent means fluffy, extra chunky. You can't say fat because you'd offend fat guys like John. So I don't say fat.
How could you offend somebody by telling them what they are?
He's fluffy. John is fluffy. I'm fluffy still. Not as fluffy.
Like the word, it's not the word that offended you. Like I walk into your house. I'm joking, by the way. I kind of am, kind of not. I walk into your house and I notice that your plants are dead. Huh? Your plants are dead, and all of a sudden you're offended. I didn't kill them.
Right.
I didn't leave them out for guests to see.
Well, our weather here has been just. We had 70s, then it dropped into 50s. It's been raining it's been overcast for several days, and it rained like crazy yesterday. And I think we're not scheduled, according to the forecast, to see the sun here until like Friday. And then it's back to overcast, cloudy, and probably going to rain again.
They have puddles in Arizona.
Puddles?
Puddles. Standing water.
It happens occasionally. Now you're
not in January.
You're down further south and east. I was in Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm about an hour and a half southeast of Phoenix.
And I mean, it's been 40 years since I've been in Arizona, but yeah, I don't remember a whole lot of rain in the wintertime. It's mostly clear and dry. That was the forecast every day. You didn't need to look it up. It's clear and dry.
Oh, hang on. Watch this. Watch the expression on Jim's face when I do this. Oh, it moved. Damn it. That one.
Oh.
A little bit of Jim just died inside.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
I knew it.
Jason Lockwood has been a member for 4 months. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. So we did the show last week. Mistakes were made. I did a follow-up video to correct my mistakes. But I was wrong because I thought I was wrong the first time. So at this time, I'm going to put out a video. The video will be out a little later today. I went back to the Baofeng Mini and the Spectrum Analyzer, and oh my God. So I talked to a couple people yesterday. I spoke with Kansas Tom, and I spoke with Hollywood yesterday, and had a long chat with
smart people.
Yes, way smarter than I am. Doc Brad, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate that a lot, buddy.
Thank you.
And what I discovered, and let me share this. So this is the screen for this guy.
And Hollywood
if you don't
alluded to this last week.
You don't know what this is. This is the cell wave. This is like a 200-watt dummy load right there. And this is an inductive tap right there. And I could take it apart and show you, but there's like a little arm that sticks out next to the center conductor inside, and that's how you tap and can look at signals.
There's no direct coupling. There's no
It is not.
electrical connection.
It is not resistive attenuation.
It's just nearby.
Distance attenuation. Close
little
enough.
teeny tiny
attenuation.
antenna.
And what I noticed when I started thinking about stuff was the attenuation's not flat. And this is the table right here, this image is the attenuation on the cell wave. I ran this yesterday. This is like a preview of the video. And you can see the markers are set, and in the upper right-hand corner, you can see the numbers, the frequencies they're at, 1 through 5. And those are the fundamental, and then the harmonics through number 5. The exact frequencies. So the biggest takeaway here is if you look at number 1, you have, what, minus 48 dB of attenuation. And if you scooch all the way over to number 5, you have 34 dB of attenuation. What? So guess what kind of problem that causes? Since it ain't flat.
Non-linear measurements.
Non-linear measurements. It ain't close to flat, and it screws everything up.
So in full defense of the cell wave, this is a problem because of the frequency span, not because the cell wave has a problem.
Yes.
If we were measuring actually at the 5th harmonic, we would properly account for the proper amount of attenuation and everything would be hunky-dory. But we're measuring a span this big.
Right. 610 meg of spectrum just so we can see the harmonics, right?
Right.
And so in Hollywood, when Hollywood and I were talking, he said this. He said there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not the right thing to use for what you're trying to do here because of exactly what Tio just said. If we were just tooling around at 146.5 to 146.8 or something like that, or we're wanting to look at FM deviation on our output signal, it is out of whack. Abe, this is calibrated.
Yes.
Now,
100%.
I'm going to tell you,
Abe is correct.
because Hollywood and I talked about this yesterday. There is a procedure called normalization. And what that is doing is I take the two cables, put them together. This is all going to be in the video. I don't want to go into this a whole lot. Put the cables together. I do the normalization. And that little white line there, it zeroes that out and becomes straight dead flat. And that is normalized. That is my reference plane at this point. I've moved the reference plane from the connectors on the spectrum analyzer to the ends of the cables. Same procedure you do for a tiny SA, or the same procedure you do to tune a nano VNA. And so that is done. And I do that because I'm going to turn on the tracking generator, which is what this view is. And this is not live. This is a picture that I snapped off the SA yesterday. Because I have my zero set, I want to know what kind of attenuation I've got on the brick of doom here. And so that's what that picture is, and it is not linear at all. So the end analysis of this, and I have one more image to show you, because this ain't a slideshow. The end analysis is you have 15 dB of attenuation difference between 146 and 732, right? 15 freaking dB of attenuation difference. So that means that 5th harmonic on my radio in my testing that popped up above the 16.02 line is way lower, is completely down in the noise because there's 15
can solve
dB.
this problem.
Well, and Hollywood and I were talking about this, and I don't want to get too deep in the weeds, but we're thinking there's a way that we could make the spectrum analyzer zero out the flaky attenuation all the way up. I don't know how to do it. I looked at it and I can't figure it out.
Well, I mean, the super easy thing is to put it on the 5th harmonic and span it of, I don't know, two megahertz or something, a small span at the fifth harmonic specifically. Key the radio up on the fundamental of 146.52, but be watching and listening with the proper amount of attenuation in a proper frequency span for the fifth harmonic only, and then you
Can't do that. I can't.
Why
You
not?
can't do that.
Why?
Well, I don't know. We need to ponder that, but I don't think that would work. So you're
So
saying,
your
say that
your
again.
fifth
Say
harmonic
that
is
again.
30. Yeah, your fifth harmonic is 30 dB of attenuation, but you have programmed it. I'm making up numbers, just work with it. Your fifth harmonic's actually 30 dB of attenuation in reality, but you've programmed the spectrum analyzer that it was 40 or 50 or 60 or some other number. So the math is off.
Right.
So program the math properly for the fifth and only the fifth. Read only the fifth. Key up on the first. See what you get. Now all your math is correct for the fifth. You can only see the fifth.
I'll have to try that, but I think it's going to skew the number anyway, because it's going to, regardless that I'm only looking at the fifth and that I've put in the attenuation that is for the fifth, it's going to screw up everything else because it's mathing the signal it sees based
It will
on,
screw up everything else, 100%. But we're only looking, only set the span for the fifth. Set your center to, what is the fifth harmonic? 732.6 megahertz. That's where you're actually looking for the
I don't know.
first harmonic.
It's worth trying. It's not going to hurt anything. I just don't know that it's going to be valid, and it might be. Hollywood and I talked about this a lot, and there's some features on higher end spectrum analyzers that may actually do this. But what I could do, and I started to do this, and then I thought no one wants to see this. I started to create a spreadsheet and then put in the math to show the differences and to actually remath the harmonics that show up. But the end result is
It's my superpower.
long story. Yeah, woo. Shock and awe when he comes hard with something like that, Tim.
Oh, yeah.
The long story short, the radio passed because the attenuation was 14, 15 dB, way higher than it actually was at that frequency. There is no fifth harmonic on those radios, on either one of them. And the same with the second. And if you look at the second harmonic here, that's 7 dB of difference right there on these guys. 7 dB. So the second harmonic's gone too.
I know it's not going to happen, but I would love to see a chain of custody handoff, photographs and markings to indicate this radio, this battery, this antenna came from this unit, and I handed it to this person who did this test, and it passed or failed, and then you give it to the next person. And if 4 out of 5 of us take the exact same radio and 4 out of 5 of us consider it a pass and one of us doesn't, we know what the problem is.
ADHD, it's not that the tiny SA cannot be trusted. That is not what we're saying at all. First of all, it's a $200 tool versus
the operator that can't be trusted.
couple $1,000 tool. But there's a lot of setup you've got to do and account for to do this test correctly. And that's the thing. And people may or may not know all this. I never, not once until yesterday, maybe the day before, pondered this giant difference of attenuation. When I set up to test it last weekend in the follow-up video, I checked the brick, the cell wave, and I looked at 146.52 and I said, oh, yeah, 48, 50 dB, we'll go with that, 48 dB at 146. But that's not what it is at 736. And because it's so far off, the results are completely skewed by 14 or 15 dB the wrong way. The other thing, go ahead.
There's this thing called having grace, and this is one of the things that hams have not been taught. We've all had bad parents, but what happened is, let's say 6 years ago, there was a way to test harmonics on a tiny SA, and that has evolved and evolved and evolved, and so has the tiny SA over time evolved itself. And we are now at a point where we know something today that we didn't know years ago when we did the test. And if people are using the old test method today, they're wrong objectively, and the new test method shows that this is the new way. And that's what this hobby's all about, is learning and experimenting and trying new things and figuring things out together as a community. And I'm not saying argue with anybody. I'm saying, let's all be friends about this. Why can't we all just get along and learn together? And here's where we are today. So there we go.
Jay, exactly right. Close enough. I prefer thermonuclear weapons, but we'll go with horseshoes for this.
Yes.
Thank you for the super chat, dude. But I love the idea. Close enough and have fun. Well, we've said that. You know, it's about experimentation. Nobody should say, nobody needs to be telling you you should do this or you should do that. Don't should people. And, you know, and rule number 1, don't be a dick. That's it. If you follow rule number 1, you don't need the rest of the rules. Don't be a dick. Problem solved. So I have one more thing to show. This
Ooh, that looks pretty.
is this one. This is actually 2 little inline jobbies. It's better.
I just got mine.
Well, this is 2 of them. This one I think is like a 5-watt, judging on the chunkiness. This one I'm pretty sure is like 1 because when I hooked it up to the radio and keyed up, it got warm pretty quick by itself.
All about heat dissipation.
Right. So this is the same test on these 2 guys in line. So I fed them from the fat boy end out to the skinny boy end. And you can see here, if you look at marker number 1, we're at minus 57 dB. Marker number 5 is minus 53, so that's 4 dB a difference. That is significant. That's half the signal, right?
Yep.
So, and what I don't have pictures of, because it's part of the video and I was figuring this crap out last night.
Trying really hard not to show you the video right now.
Well, I'm not. I don't want to. As this warmed up, those numbers changed.
They do.
This one
we did that on my live stream.
This guy went from 57 for marker 1 to like 62, and marker 5 crept up to like 64, 65, something like that. So the numbers changed all over the place as this little one got warmer and warmer. So tomorrow, I'm going to be going to the ham parts store and trying to find a good across-the-board attenuator. We were talking with Hayden last night,
Yep.
and Hayden says he's got one that's flat to 8 gigahertz. I'm like, okay, fancy pants. I'm not an Australian with a cool accent. I'd be happy for one that was flat to 2 gigahertz. So,
And there are ways, even if you do get one that isn't flat, to solve this problem. And this is something that I've been talking with some very smart people offline as well. Take your measurements with a grain of salt and then validate your measurements. Like, the 5th harmonic is strange on this one. Maybe I should investigate why the 5th harmonic is strange and not just immediately call everything ever made garbage.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I want to, the thing is, I know what I have here. Mm-hmm. And I know what I did or didn't do correctly. And I said it in the video on Sunday last week because I was still seeing different results. Same methodology on the Sunday afternoon I was wrong video, but I was still seeing different results on 2 radios. The same 2 radios, these two Baofeng Minis right here. This one, I don't know which one, the one I'm wiggling my hand on. This one on the 2nd harmonic was over the 16 line. This one wasn't. This one was, I don't know, 0.5 over 1602 on the 5th harmonic. This one was like 1.5. So I also think could be QC problems. And Josh did a video, and I do want to point out that Josh's point was good. Just make sure if you're going to do a video that I'm trying to make sure I'm doing it right. And I've already found some things that I had not accounted for that probably I may have given out bad information, and I don't want to. I also am not going to make proclamations that these radios are all crappy because they're not.
You only have 2 of them.
I only got a sample of 2 out of 2 million radios, right?
Well,
that is
3,
not a
'cause I sent you
statistically, that's right, 3. Still not a statistically significant sample. Not even in the neighborhood, right? And
well, I mean, I talk about this a lot. There are manufacturing differences. I have 120 all-in-one cables that all came out of the same factory on the same assembly line, and this one is bad. It gets hot when you plug it in. That's a sure sign that there's something wrong with one of the chips. It happens. It's okay. That's what warranties are for.
And that was in a run of 100.
Yeah.
Imagine the QC. And these radios are sub $25, $20, $30. I don't know. I can't math it. I think this was a 2-pack for 35 or something, 39.
Yeah, they're so cheap. It's like, why are we even having this conversation? And Don, oh my God, Jim, would you give the honors, please? Would you tell the whole world how Don was right?
About the comment about interference?
Yeah. What happens when you interfere?
Someone has to complain.
And then what
I
happens?
think then they have to complain to the FCC, and then the FCC says, stop it.
And then what do? You throw away the $15 radio
Oh,
and you're
yeah,
better for the
okay.
experience. You know?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you get a $9 attenuator off of Amazon and you're better for the experience.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking an $800 radio like a D75.
Then we're out for blood.
Then there will be pitchforks, torches, and unwashed masses heading up the dirt path to the castle. But for a 20, let's call it 25. I'm tired of making up numbers. For a $25 radio, it's good. It's good enough. And even if at some point my video from last Sunday is actually correct with the harmonics, the other thing that Matt here said last week, you're talking about, well, I don't have the antenna, it's in the box. You're talking about a rubber duck antenna on a $25
Horrible
radio
antenna.
that is possibly, instead of minus 1602 dBm on the fifth harmonic, might be, oh my God, minus 13.02 dBm on the fifth harmonic. 50 milliwatts, maybe, on an antenna that is maybe 50% effective on a good day. So now we're back to 25 microwatts.
I would love to do a 3-way test. Me with my $25 Baofeng Mini radio. And
T.O. would
two
have to
people
be sitting on my lap to cause distortion. And there would be other things that would happen.
All kinds of other distortion going on, yeah.
Yeah.
If there was actually somebody who
Pop
was
it in the
licensed to
face.
use 739.2 megahertz, whatever the number was, and
Right.
those two people had their two properly designed professional $1,000 HTs that are intrinsically safe for the service that they're using them on, and they were having a conversation and I keyed up, would they just go, what was that, a flea? You know, if I was keyed up having a conversation on 146.52 and their fifth order harmonic radios, if they tried to have a conversation, would they win and beat me?
Jimmy got that right. Stop doing that, or I'll ask you to stop doing it again. Yeah, we're not talking criminal
about,
penalties. It'd have to be egregious, repeated, super annoying, pissing off everybody kind of. I mean, look at 7200, and that's still there every day. So
the capture effect comes into play. So 2 real 5-watt radios on the actual frequency in question versus my 5-watt radio, 5 harmonics off on a crappy antenna within whatever distance you'd like to argue over. I think that their real 5-watt radios are going to win every time, and mine is just going to be a fart in the wind.
well, what T.O. said, the fire department radios we carried, and our FM, our UHF was 453 and some change. We're talking $600-800 Kenwood radios that are intrinsically safe, which means I don't blow up when I key it up in the gas puddle. I try not to stand in gas puddles. And, heavy duty kind of thing, and excellent battery life, much better than any commercial ham products from Kenwood, I might add. And it's probably got filtering that costs more than this radio. It's a $500, $600, $700 Kenwood TK 3380, I think is the models we carried the last I was there. And the filters in it probably cost more than this radio. So T.O.'s point is, I think, very valid. If T.O. and I are close enough to interfere with our Feng Minis, T.O. and I...
You're in my space.
Right. He's within 3 feet of me, which means one of two things is happening, and I'm not going to mention what either one of those might be on YouTube. And he won't like one of them. So, actually, probably either one. I hope. Although there was cabin 13. It's really a non-issue, and I think that was Don's point. And then Matt here, again, with the antenna comment, who gives a shit at this point? I'm doing it not because I want to spread the light and love of the Baofeng Mini. I'm doing it because it's what I'm interested in doing, and I'm sharing it on my channel.
I would love to test this. I would love to find somebody. I mean, if you look at Radio Reference, nobody owns a harmonic of 146.52. Nobody's licensed to use that spectrum in the first place.
Isn't the
So-
third one the third one's in 70 centimeters, isn't it?
That's us.
Well, yeah. So
We're
yes,
interfering
there
with
are.
ourselves.
Yeah, but it's still interference. It doesn't say it has to be civilians.
Right, but I'm talking about something that actually matters.
John has
A
to
ham
go.
interfering
John
with
Luke,
another ham
see you later,
happens
buddy.
all day. But I mean, I seriously, I want to go somewhere where there are these two magical unicorns that have this fifth harmonic of 146.52 with intrinsically safe real radios that are designed for those frequencies with an actual purpose and in a controlled environment, so we all know all the variables and I'm not actually doing any interference, prove that interference happens or doesn't happen. Because we can test this on however much money you want to spend on a spectrum analyzer you want. And then we know that physics in the real world is completely different.
RF gonna RF. Is
Yeah.
that what I'm hearing? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Try
and I
building
think,
your first dipole just using math and see how resonant it is.
and I think if anybody's really bent about this, send the crap to the ARRL lab and let them test it. You know, I assume they have real RF engineers there with real equipment. The guy Josh had on has a background. He's been doing RF engineering for as long as I've been in IT, and he has a better mustache. And the ones he had were fine. Mine, I think I had problems with my test setup, and that's what I showed you with the attenuation graph. So I think mine were fine, because if I offset my results with that flaky attenuation on the cell wave, I ain't got no spurs. I'm clean. I had my shots.
So Hax is saying the second harmonic of 2 meter falls in military satellite frequencies. Okay, so how can I talk to someone in the military who has that experience and access to that equipment and run this test?
Doc, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate it. That's kind of what it is for me. I'm getting so many conflicting data points. They're good, they're bad. Who cares? They're $25 if they're close enough, you know? And when you factor in, again, are you actively causing interference? And have you got some kind of hyper awesome antenna that you're broadcasting up in the military sat frequencies? No, you don't. You got a rubber duck that cost about 32 cents to make that they stuck in there. And it's close enough to work on 2 meters.
Well, I mean, let's carry down the argument. Let's put the best HT antenna we can on it. Let's put a good mag mount on it. Let's do. So Liberty's saying I won't have the clearance. I'm saying give me the clearance. And I don't mean give me, I mean, I've had a clearance. That's not an issue. But we can talk about non-secure things. So I've worked in SCIFs before. It's kind of funny how that whole process works. And there's enough of you here that have done it. But yeah, there's ways to make it happen.
Brother Marvin got the offering plate and passed and took it upon himself to drop a $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Marvin.
Thank you, Marvin.
I don't know. I think there's more drama over this. And I'm a YouTuber, and obviously I want views on my videos, but I mean, it's to the point of who cares.
So Vern is correct. This is what we need to do. We need to set up a programmed frequency where we listen on the fifth harmonic and talk on 146.55 or something that's not 146.52 because that's busy at Xenia, which is Dayton for the uninitiated, the unwashed. And if we can actually carry on useful conversations at distance in this, repeater split style setup, listening on 732 and talking on 146.55, then yeah.
It's going to be a non-event. No one's going to hear you. I guarantee you, if I'm standing next to Vern and he keys up on, I will not hear him on the fifth harmonic because there ain't one. Not on the sample of 3 that I've seen, the 2 I have here and the one that T.O. sent. So I don't know.
See, I sent mine in for double blind verification.
Well, the problem is the one that I used the damn cell wave to test it. So.
And it's gone because we gave it away.
Yep. So somebody has it, and these are a giveaway too. I think I gave these away already. I need to get them sent out. But anyway, so that's all the news. I'll have a video and go through some demo on this. It'll come out later today. We've already talked about it more than I really wanted to, but I disagree. Well, I don't totally disagree.
We all
I
get
mean-
along. It's fine.
I don't know. People get defensive when their ideas are attacked,
Why be defensive?
and I'm like, whatever.
I'm not Baofeng. I can say nothing right or wrong.
And
It matters not.
yeah, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. I'm not. I don't want to lose
Chuck.
any friends over it, LC. I mean, that's honestly the thing. Do I think some people are right and wrong? Yes. Do I think maybe doubling down on your right or wrongness was not a great idea? Maybe.
We're
Do
all
I
just
really
eating
care?
popcorn.
You know? Yeah.
Not in the least.
Think of the Michael Jackson meme where he's sitting from the Thriller video, where he's sitting in the theater watching the movie, popping popcorn in his mouth. That's what this is. It's a lot of internet ham drama. And I could be completely wrong. And I'm not entirely sure I'm right. Believe me on that. I got no idea. Especially with these two attenuators, because they're just so sketchy. But anyway. LED.
I'm not afraid of being wrong.
You know. Yeah, we're probably going to move on. We already talked about it more than I actually wanted to. So let me get rid of
Hands on a
that.
roll.
Yeah.
What was topic 2?
But it is ham stuff. Well, I was gonna go through some of our news. The FCC has banned importation of drones. Okay, I don't.
Every
really
time
care
I want to
which
get
one.
into having a drone, drama shows up, and I just get right back out of it.
So they've officially banned it, and my wife has apparently gone deaf. Because I usually can't hear the TV back here, and I hear the TV just going away.
Martha, turn up your hearing aids.
Well, I could tell the Amazon device to make an announcement and like, turn that down, old woman. So any new devices are banned. I don't know why we have to call them uncrewed aircraft systems, but whatever. Because of some of the controls, DJI is a major one, and Autel are the most significantly impacted. If you have a drone, you can still fly it. You can still buy a drone today because they're not banned from selling current stock. So if you want one of these things, you need to whip out the plastic and make it happen, or you ain't going to get one, especially if you want a DJI model. I don't know all the background on this, and I don't really care. I got out of the drone game a long time ago, but you know, they all come from China, and I think there's a lot of concern over some of the parts. I don't really know specifically. There are some exemptions on these. Parrot, Teledyne, FLIR, and AeroVironment are temporarily exempt through the end of the year, and they apparently do a lot of ag-related drones. So
this has all got to be political and not actually national security stuff. Because if it was legitimate national security stuff, they would be banned and somebody'd be knocking on your door to take it.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
But you just can't buy it. But you can buy ones that are already in the country. Yeah, some crony in an office somewhere got some piece of paper written.
Well, and you got to wonder, and I don't want to get into government conspiracy, but you got to wonder if the exempt ones, you know, their lobbyists are better than DJI's lobbyists.
If only there was an American manufacturer that made one of these things.
Right. Apparently, the FCC has to remind some of the experimental license holders that are experimental. This is what caught my eye about this whole thing. Known to run is 800 kilowatts of power. I mean, you're going to have funny-looking kids around that much power. And they're apparently not identifying themselves.
Yeah, we're 1.5 versus 800.
Right. Here's one with 16 kilowatt ERP in the 2 meter 14.0 to 14.99 area. But apparently they changed the rules because there was an exemption from identifying yourself. I'm trying to figure out what the hell you're doing with 16 kilowatts of power. Who are you talking to? Mars?
Everybody.
I guess.
Well, it's funny, even the military doesn't use that much power for the routine communications.
So I thought that was interesting that they had to tell those guys you need to identify yourself. I can't imagine what kind of setup you have to run 16 kilowatts of power. You know, to me, that is just like, holy mackerel. Just think about your electric bill for 16 kilowatts of power.
Think about
All
your
right.
kids.
There's no what's left of
Yeah,
them.
I'm telling you, funny looking kids. So this is, what is this? And I know it's an antenna, geniuses. I'm curious if any of you guys have an idea.
That looks like a piece of the Xiegu VG4 antenna. I know you're going to say Hustler 6BTV, but the traps look different. And that's the part that is not normal. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not normal.
I thought that was interesting. I wasn't sure what that was. Is that another trap of some sort?
It's a trap, yeah.
Because there's several of them up the side.
Yeah, so that's like 10, 11, 12, and they're close enough together that they have to be close together. So what happens with a trap is the signal stops at 10 meters, but because the frequency, wavelength, etc. is different, it travels through to 11, and it travels through to 12, and it travels through to 20. So you have a resonant antenna at 20, and also the same antenna is also resonant on 40, as an example. Very high level.
Right.
But the Hustler traps are closed on both ends.
Well, and so the Reddit verse says it has traps. It's multi-band. Somebody said it looked like a butternut because they had open coils at the base, and then this guy said he thinks it's a high gain AV 14 AVQ and antenna. The coil at the bottom is a shunt coil, and we have another vote for the high gain. So anyway. This one says Avante. I was curious what you guys said. Because if Don's here, and I don't think I've seen Don this morning, he would know because he probably has one of these. All right, next thing to look at. What are these for?
Prison?
No, not prison.
I'm looking at the fence and the lookout tower that you can stand on.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're actually going down the right path. It's not a guard tower. Let's go with that. Yes, it's a FAA facility. So according to the Reddit verse, this is RCAG, remote control air to ground, mainly used in the boondocks for ATC. I don't know. Now, that didn't look like it was in the boondocks to me because what T.O. is calling... So there's no guard tower there. Oh, you were just being
No, you
funny.
can stand on top of that radio tower. There's a platform up there to stand on. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's three of them. Nice.
There's probably a sign somewhere. I think there might be 4. What's that back there?
Different design of tower. Not part of this. You have 3 that are clearly similar design.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. And if you drove around this, you could probably find a sign that said, "Don't come in here. We don't want you."
And you could probably turn your camera sideways and see more antennas in the array, but some people don't know how to turn cameras sideways.
Drives me nuts. Drives me absolutely nuts.
There are valid reasons to use either format, but this would be a valid reason to use the other one, not this one.
Right. And then the last thing I had to share.
Oh, that's cool. That's a GMRS or a ham radio, and I also have a CB that's in that format that can be 10, 11, 12 opened, wide-banded. You're still muted.
Yeah, I was coughing. I'm coming down with the crud. I was going to wait until the day I was supposed to pick you up from the airport, but I thought, no, let's get it over with now.
Again?
Always
I
the
got the hotel
bridesmaid,
room
never the
booked, so I'm
bride.
fine. Yeah. Last time you
So
left me hanging with both.
I thought this was a pretty cool install, the way this guy did this.
Yeah.
And it's a better use of this thing because all mine does is hold random crap. I don't even know what it is most of the time.
Yeah,
I also like the mic
radio.
install there. It's a clean install, but I think I would probably bang against that with my knee all the time. I don't know.
And that's a pretty big pickup truck. That's like a 250 or a...
Yeah, I think he said it's a
350?
250.
because it's got the built-in trailer brake.
Yeah, see, I have a 150 and I've got a 4-wheel drive 150, but I don't have the trailer brake. I don't think. Mine's automatic. I don't know. Maybe I have a trailer brake.
You have the ability to add one easily, but I don't think you have the actual controller module.
Yeah, I don't know. But I thought that was a pretty cool install.
Yeah, I have a project where, and it's in the design phases. I want to take an ammo box and put all 3 of those radios in, the legal GMRS, the legal ham, and the legal CB, which may or may not be legal when it makes it into the box. And then I'll have 70 centimeters. I'll have GMRS 70 centimeters, 2 meters, 10, 11, and 12. All in a little gold box.
I think he did a good job on the install. The only thing I would question is that mic would annoy the ever-living daylights.
Oh, it hit my knee all day long.
I'd be banging my knee against it all the time when I'm driving, so it looks good, but I don't think it's the right place, not for me at least. He should have done it differently. He should have done it differently, Steve.
Yes, he should have. We're going to shit on him. Shalom, Doug.
Doug, thanks for being here, man. See you, buddy.
I thought shalom was hello, or is it universal?
I don't know. I used to date a Jewish girl, but I don't know. I think it's both, maybe. I'm not sure.
People are saying they have F-150s with trailer brakes built in. Huh.
Well, I know mine's got something because when I hook up the boat trailer, the console options change. And it knows there's a boat trailer back there, and it knows the trailer has brakes.
Oh, my favorite thing, my Jeep, I would plug in the trailer, and it would know that the trailer was plugged in, but it would also complain the rear, you're going to run into something sensors. There's something behind you. There's something behind you. There's something, I know. It's the trailer you told me that was plugged in.
Same thing.
Shut it off.
The backup,
let's
the backup
the
camera
here.
alerts like crazy, which is weird because on that truck, and I'm sure ones after it as well, it has the backup feature thing. So you take some measurements, you put this calibrated sticker on the tongue of the trailer, and then when you put it in reverse, instead of messing with the steering wheel, you have a little knob. And because you've done all the calibration, it knows how far the tongue is from here to here to here and all that using the backup cam. But every time I backed up with that trailer, the dang beeper was going off because it's like, holy crap, you're going to hit that trailer. Yes, I know. I'm connected to that trailer, fool.
And you know I'm connected to that trailer. Yeah, this is what I was talking about where like dog fooding. You should use your own product and immediately you would know that this doesn't work.
It also complains if the tailgate's down. Like if you move the truck with the tailgate down, it starts honking on the backup side.
You might have an unstrapped human being in the back.
Right. Somehow I survived being an unstrapped human being through my childhood. Also didn't wear a bicycle helmet and I drank out of the garden hose. And I was forced to stay outside all day so Mom wouldn't yell at me for coming in and out of the house. Anyway, that's all the news I have. Steve, you got anything else? We may call it a wrap early today.
Not really, no. Quartz Fest is coming up. We're all going to be there. I'm going to be heading that way Thursday of next week.
When does that start?
It starts Saturday of next week, I believe.
Okay.
And then runs for the entire week. And then there's also the great big RV show in the tent in town up the street from where we are going to be hanging out at Quartz Fest site proper itself.
Now, are you going to be available for the show when you're at Quartzsite, or do you even have internets out there?
Actually, because the amount of people that descend upon the desert, last year I was able to have 100% good quality cell phone access and did not need my Starlink at all. And that was one of the further nails in the coffin of me getting rid of the Starlink before they got rid of it out underneath of me. Because I had a Gen 2 motorized actuated dish, and I figured they're going to be turning them off at some point. Forced upgrades.
And then we all have Hamcation is coming up in like a month, right? Today's what, the 10th or the 11th?
Yeah, Hamcation is Valentine's Day. Put in your alibis now.
Right, I pre-alibied already. Baby, I'm going to be out of town, on the 14th. She's like, so what? Okay, cool. We've been married 34 years. We don't care.
The road. I am not taking the whole show on the road. I am doing a mini truck camper and camping in the back of the pickup truck. So I've been building that on my RV channel. Living for a Living is the name of the RV channel, at Living for a Living RV, if you go search for it. And yesterday I built an exhaust system to get all the horrible exhaust children, I'm reading his comment, horrible exhaust gases out of the back of the truck, out of the camper area.
And I want to remind everybody we will have the POTA meetup on Thursday. And I think that would be the 12th or 13th. I can't remember what exact day.
Wakiwa Springs or something like that?
Wakiwa Springs State Park, the same one where we were last year.
Thanks, Ken. Is there a fee at Quartz Fest? There is not a fee that I know of, but there might be some place where you can make a donation. But there's no fee to camp. It's completely BLM camping, off-grid, etc. Zero hookups.
Yeah,
but there
don't
are ways
complain.
to dump and so on. And I mean dump your RV, but there's also ways to do the other kind of dumping.
Don't complain about the toilet situation.
Right.
This is like, I call this Burning Ham. This is like Burning Man
it.
for old people.
They actually do have a ham effigy that they burn.
Yeah.
If I use that word correctly.
The POTA meetup. Go get your reservations. The park has a limited number of people they will let in. You have to get your tickets, your admittance passes, whatever you want to call them, your government permission for those of you who are going to be offended. You have to get all that online. Don't show up at the gate because the ranger ain't going to sell you a pass. You have to have it already. And all that can be done online, pay for it, and then you can be there and have fun. Because you need to have a permission slip to have fun on that spot of dirt. It's Florida people, I don't know. They had to move the meth cooking. I don't know. But that would be in about a month. So I'm looking forward to it. All right, I'm going to hit the button. Thanks, y'all. Have a great day. T.O., thank you for your assistance, as always. Say yes.
Yep.
Button engaged. Awkward time.